Hello and welcome to the March April Easy, in which we feature the leading Americas operators. I'm here today talking to Toby Keir, who is the CEO of MRG and InMotion. Thank you so much for talking to me today, Toby. I'm delighted to have you.
Thanks, Charlotte. Thanks for the invite, and hello from Las Vegas as well.
I'm sure it's beautiful weather there, unlike it is in the UK. It's been raining all day, characteristically. So anyway, for the uninitiated, you assumed the role of CEO of MRG and InMotion fairly recently in November 2021, I believe, moving across from WH Smith, which I believe acquired MRG in December 2019 and InMotion in 2018. So I just wanted to find out from you how the last few months have been in the new role.
Well, it's been warmer than the old role to start with. I'm going to start with that little joke. I think the first thing to say is I'm really enjoying it. And I'm very lucky in that I've got a great senior team and a great team overall who have got just tons of experience in airport retail. I think if you start a new job, anybody starts a new job, it's about learning and listening. So I spent a lot of my first few months talking to our colleagues in stores, in our DCs, in the office, talking to our customers, talking to our landlords and partners and listening to them, and also our ACDB partners and supply partners. So it's just getting all that information and insight. My first day in the business was in stores. So I was on the cash register, which was invaluable learning to hear what customers are saying, generally very, very positive, which is good news, and also our colleagues. So really good there. And I think I'll wrap up saying, I'm excited because there's tons of opportunity. I love growth and I can see huge amounts of growth, which no doubt we'll come on to. And my highlight to start with was I flew to New York to our new store in LaGuardia Airport, which is our largest store we've opened now, 15,000 square feet, called the Bowery Bay Shops. And it's our first walkthrough store as well. And that terminal's new. And there's an escalator going up from security. And just seeing passengers who have never been to the airport before come up security on this escalator, and their jaws just dropped because the airport looks fantastic and our stores look fantastic. That was my absolute highlight.
Oh, fantastic. I love the detail about you being on the till as well on your first day in store. Is that a company policy?
It's not a company policy, but it's definitely recommended. And we ask people to spend time in stores. And there's a big induction everyone has, at least a day, which is fantastic around the business and our customer service expectations as well. It's a great first start. I really advise it to anybody in retail.
Mm-hmm. You've mentioned a little bit about moving on to my second question. You have mentioned some things here already, but backed by an extraordinary 19-year career with WH Smith already, what do you hope to bring to this role from all that experience you've gained so far?
Yeah, I think I've just hit my 20-year anniversary now. So, and
well, congratulations.
Here's a little fact. WH Smith this year is 230 years old. So I've only been here for under 9% of the time. And in that short stewardship, my last role was in the UK, and I led our UK travel business. And that's our broadly 600 stores and growing in airports, hospitals, train station, and on the highway motorway network as well. And I guess my experience allows me to see the synergies and opportunities in this business and really link people and ideas together and resources across the world. And we operate now globally in over 30 countries. So that really I can help kind of pull those synergies and links. I think my role's always been understanding the needs of the partner, so the airport partner and the passenger. And as a retailer, for me, it's about understanding really deeply what people need and then building on those ideas and creating those ideas. So in the UK, as an example, in Heathrow Airport, if you go to Terminal 2, you'll see a large WH Smith, which is combined with a pharmacy, because passengers were saying they wanted everything in one place. That's working very well. You'll see standalone bookstores and a new huge InMotion in Terminal 2 for electronics as well. So it's really building those ideas. And here I'm in the US to take those ideas forward and support the team. And in the US, we've got a large amount of growth. So we have over 60 stores which haven't opened yet and are due to open in the next couple of years, stores we've won, essentially. So I'll be supporting the team to continue that growth and also really help them deliver that right first time by taking all our knowledge across the world and resources across the world to support the US on its growth ambitions.
Thanks so much for that concise answer. That's fantastic. You even answered another question I had for you anyway. In the past, I think travel retail environments, it's fair to say, in North America have been accused of not being at the same standard of duty-free environments in Europe and Asia, for instance. And obviously you have lots of experience in Europe itself, being with WH Smith. Do you think this is a fair appraisal today? And how do you hope to elevate retail in North America?
Yeah. Good question. I would say there's examples of great and not so great everywhere in the world. That's one thing I've learned. No matter where you are, there's always going to be brilliant and not so brilliant. So I'll start with that. What I would come back to though is back to LaGuardia Airport in New York. And I would say our stores are best in class anywhere in the world. And I think the terminal's kind of best in class anywhere in the world. And what I do know is that in the US, there's significant, really significant infrastructure investment across airports. And what that means is that the retail space will improve, and that will improve revenue to airports, and they can then spend that on additional improvements. And just as important, or I guess arguably more important, the customer experience will improve. Now, passengers in airports shop in retail. So the nicer and better that retail space is, like I think we're delivering now, that will only improve the customer experience. So I think there's good and not so good everywhere, but we've got some brilliant examples. But I would just say a couple of things from my initial few months. I think in terms of a sense of place, having an airport representing that local city, the US is excelling at that. We know our job here and what we do very well is creating local concepts and really sourcing local goods and brands suitable for that city. And I think the US does lead other countries in that. And I think other countries are slightly changing their view on that localization. I'd also add ACDB partners, so working with partners and groups to support businesses, and often they're local as well. That's unique to the US. And that's brilliant in terms of how that partnership grows. And finally, probably customer service. I think when customer service is done right here in the US, it is better than the rest of the world. And I've seen just some fantastic examples. So I think the future is looking really strong, really, really strong. And I think, yeah, as I said at the start, there are some great examples. And with the extra infrastructure investment and the airports changing, I think the US is going to come out on top.
Certainly some very compelling arguments there. I'll give you that, and I do think you're right to say that things are definitely changing in infrastructure being a main driver of them propelling the retail environments too. How are supply chain challenges affecting the business? And this is a global problem. It's obviously not a location thing. It's everywhere. There's nowhere that can hide from this problem.
Yeah, it's right here, right now. It's quite limited, the impact. And to be fair, that's because over the last 18 months in particular, the team have just worked incredibly hard and our supply partners have worked incredibly hard. And due to that hard work, the customers aren't really seeing much impact in our stores at all now. Will it change for the better or worse short term? I don't think so. So we are continuously having to spend a lot more effort and focus on our supply chain, which has been throughout COVID. But again, means customers aren't seeing those impacts right now. And it's hard to say, again, will it change significantly or not? But again, we are working very hard to make sure the impacts consumers are minimised. And right here, right now, very little impact.
Oh, that's excellent news. Finally, what excites you most about the future for MRG and InMotion and indeed WH Smith as a whole?
Growth. So as I said, we've got around 60 stores we'll be launching, and I hope to win many more. I said I've just been bowled away by how good the teams are here at really adapting the offer to the local city, and that's not just about branding a store something different. It's about truly designing that store to look like the city and what it represents, finding local brands and local products for that city. And that's hard work. Getting all those local suppliers to work with you involves, feet on the ground and doing that work. And I think that growth will continue. So there's definitely a whole element for me around growth, and then how I can support that as the CEO, pulling in all that resource, which I know in my head, we have it here in the team, and also we have globally. I think second, InMotion, so that's the electronics part of our business. So in 2018, when I entered the WH Smith companies, it was the largest electronic accessories retailer in US airports. That's now going to be the largest across the world. So I'm very excited that we've just launched a store in Portland here in the US, but probably equally as excited that across the Atlantic in the UK, they're launching 30 InMotion stores and really big flagships as well. So I'm just really interested to see how that brand grows across the world and consumers start to recognize a fantastic new electronic accessories retail in many countries as we go. So as I said, that's happening in the UK now, a lot more growth in the US. And finally, a bit more human element. The last couple of years have been really tough. If you were in travel, if you're in retail, it's been hard work. We all know it's been really hard work. And as a human being, as a family, you know, it's been tough for us personally as well. But it's about looking ahead now. You know, travel's coming back in the US very quickly. You know, I've been around lots of airports in the last few weeks. They seem almost full. And again, that means people are traveling to see family and friends they haven't seen for years, go to events like concerts they haven't been to. And we play a really small part, but an important part to making that journey a bit better. And I'm excited that actually people are reconnecting again, because the more people reconnect as a travel industry, that's only good for us. So I'm pretty excited about the future, as you can probably tell. But it's all about growth, all about growth.
Well, it certainly sounds like it's going to be a very exciting 5 to 10 years for everybody at WH Smith, Marshall Retail Group and InMotion. Well, thank you very much for talking to me today. It's been an absolute pleasure getting to know you better, and I hope to catch up with you very soon.
That's great. Thank you, Charlotte. Thanks for the time to talk.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.